Hello E39 Source Channel, how are you guys doing? Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a DIY regarding the auxiliary input installation in the BMW E39. This is a 2002 BMW 530i produced in April of 2002, and it has the 16 by 9 inch display navigation system. So this process is fairly simple. As you see, I have already completed it, and I have right here on the left side of the cup holder, if this can focus, an auxiliary input jack. So now I can connect an iPhone or an MP3 player and listen to music while I'm driving. So you just want to go to mode, and you'll have auxiliary as well as your radio, tape, and auxiliary. So it's a fairly simple process. It's not too difficult. There are a couple prerequisites that you have to meet to be able to do this installation. We'll go ahead and talk about those right now. So first thing that we're going to talk about requires me to go to the trunk of the car. BMW E39s with the navigation system in the front of the car will have their radio module located in the back of the car where all their electronics are. Now this is the radio module. It's a little silver box, and it's made by Becker Automotive Systems, and they, BMW used them for their radio systems up until around 2006. So this wasn't only used in the E39s. And this radio, they added more features to it over the years. They all look the same. What's going to be different about your radio compared to like a newer radio will be the features that it has. So the three main features that these radios were upgraded with over the years were support for auxiliary input. The second one is Sirius XM radio compatibility, so you can install a Sirius XM radio receiver. And the third one was MP3 text ID, so that was pretty much if you're listening to like a CD or like a tape or something, it'll tell you the name of the song and the artist. So that's not that big of a feature, but the two main ones were auxiliary input compatibility and Sirius XM radio compatibility. So the way you're going to be able to tell what features your radio has is by pulling it out and looking at the part number. You can't really see the part number without taking this bracket off, and the way you do that is there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that you have to take off, and then once you do that, this bracket comes off. Locate the part number, and in the description below there's a link, and in that link it's a list of all the part numbers for this radio, and it will tell you what whatever your part number is, what features it have. So some only have like auxiliary input, some have all three, some have the MP3 and the Sirius XM radio and the auxiliary input as well. So go look at that, and if your radio is compatible with auxiliary input, then you can do this installation. Now if you don't, you're going to have to buy a radio with the part number that does support auxiliary input. So you can look on eBay for those. Websites like ECS Tuning and Bavarian Autosport, they only sell the newest part numbers, like the one here, and those run you about $500. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to upgrade. Now, if you have the in-dash CD player, I don't have too much information for you. I think I did see on e39source.com, their website, that they do have an article regarding the installation. I think Bobby did the write-up for that, so go check that out for more information. But I believe that if your radio, the production date on the radio behind your car is after September of 2002, then it is compatible. I'm not sure about the part numbers for that. The only part numbers I have are for the radio module in the trunk of the car, so just keep that in mind as well. Now if you've confirmed that your radio is compatible with auxiliary input, then you have to check your production date of the car. Now if your production date is September 2002 and after, and you have a navigation system, BMW ran a wire from the back of the car to the front behind the navigation screen. So behind the navigation screen, so what you're going to have to do to access that is you're going to have to take off this black trim around the navigation screen. Once you do that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws, I believe, behind this. If you take those out, this navigation head unit just comes right out. and it has two cables connected to it. Disconnect those, and you're gonna have to look for a cable that's kind of loose. I mean, there's nothing connected to it. And once you locate that, if you get the BMW part for it, you'll be able to plug it straight into there, and at the other end will be an auxiliary input, and you'll just route that to wherever you want. I routed mine right here under the cup holder. Sorry about the light, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. So that's case number one. Case number two is your September 2002 and after with the in-dash CD player. Therefore, your radio should be compatible with auxiliary, and you'll have to buy the part number for that. And it's pretty much the same as the trunk unit connector. If you have the radio unit in the trunk of the car, the wire to the front of the car will accept this kind of cable. And I'll leave a little note on which one is for which. And if you're plugging in straight to the radio unit behind the in-dash CD, then you'll use the other part number. So there's just two different connectors that you're going to be using. Now in my case, because this was produced before September of 2002, BMW did not pre-wire it for this. So what I actually had to do is, it doesn't matter which connector you buy, they're the same part. What you're gonna have to do is there's three wires that run into the connector, and you're gonna have to take out the 3 pins from it, and you'll have just 3 cables, and those cables plug into the radio module. Now, as you see, it connects straight into it, and I'll put another link in the description with a diagram of the different pins that correspond with the different features. Like auxiliary input, the pins are for the C, I believe it's the C plug. You'll be able to see in the diagram the C plug, and it's pins 3, 4, and 10. And the brown cable is 10, the red cable is 3, and the blue cable is 4. So you have to remove those pins, plug it into there in the right ports, and then once you have that, you're pretty much done. The only thing that you have to do is run the cable to the front of the car, because if you're pre-September 2002, then they didn't pre-wire it for you. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of how I did run a cable from the front, or from the back to the front. So as you see here, this is how long the cable would be. This is the other end of it. So this is the BMW part. It only comes up to here. So you want this to be to the front of the car. So you got to get an extension cable, plug the extension cable into it. Once you have that, I routed the wire behind this leather piece, and it comes out by just pulling it down. There's one clip that holds it in. And once you do that, I ran it behind it, so it comes out of here. I ran it under this trim piece, up to the left of the driver's seat. Comes out here, under this trim, under this beige trim, under this rubber piece, up into here, and it comes out here. Now the way I did it is, there's this black trim right here, and there's 3 screws that you have to remove. Once you remove those 3 screws, this trim will come down, and you could run the cable across it. And once you do that, it'll come out over here, and then I was able to route it up here and push it, under the trim. And then it's going to be sticking out from here. Now the way you get it inside is, you can remove this Hvac unit. It's fairly simple. You can do it 2 ways. If you already have your navigation screen out, you can just put your hand under there and push it out. Just be gentle, but it does come out. There's no screws holding it in. Once you have that out, so this whole unit will be out. There's 2 screws, one on the left and one on the right, for this bracket. And if you take those out, you'll be able to pull this bracket forward a little bit, run the cable behind that, tuck it under here, and once you do that, you'll have it behind there, which is what you want. And then you can route it to wherever you want to. You could route it to the glove box and have a device there, or you could route it here, which is what I did, as you can see. So you just drill 3 holes on the left side of the cup holder and install it in there, and you'll pretty much be done. And that's how you would do it if you have an E39 that's produced before September of 2002 with a navigation system. You're going to have to route that wire up to the front and mount it wherever you would like. Now, if your car is produced before September 2002 with the in-dash CD player, then you're just going to have to worry about the radio and whether or not it can support auxiliary. And if it does, you're just going to have to buy that part from BMW, plug it into the radio module, and route it to wherever you would like. Now, that's the process, guys. Now, if there's any questions that you guys have, if there's anything I missed, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. But other than that, that's it from me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys later.